Jagrata, Jaya Masters. Everything becomes so simple when you take a step back. The first thing you see is you live in two environments. They're totally separate environments. You have an environment outside where things are happening, things are unfolding. You see things, hear things, taste things, smell things. And you have an environment inside where you think things and you feel things. Feel meaning emotionally, not touch. These are totally different worlds. They have nothing to do with each other. There is absolutely nothing tying your thoughts and your emotions to the outside world. The outside world is out there. If you want to understand it, study physics, study chemistry. The outside world is unfolding in front of you. It has been unfolding somewheres, everywheres, for 13.8 billion years. It's been going on for according to your scientists, for 13.8 billion years. If you were around, you looked outside, you'd see something. It looks different, and it's going on everywhere in the entire universe. Your Milky Way is a galaxy, 300 billion stars. Your sun is one of them, all right? There are 2 trillion galaxies. There's something going on everywhere in all of those galaxies, on every star, on every planet. Do you understand that? Not what's going on here, but there's something going on. Mars has something going on. Dust, wind, some storms. Jupiter's got a nice storm, all right? Everywhere in the outside world, there is something going on every single nanosecond. There's electrons spinning around nuclei. There's all kinds of things going on. If you get down to quantum physics, right? There's quarks and leptons and bosons, subatomic particles popping out of the quantum field. Everywheres in the entire universe. That's the outside world. It belongs to itself. It is the way it is because of the forces that caused it to be that way. And you're not it. You get that straight? Let me repeat that to you. If people say, well, why is it like that? Because of the forces that caused it to be that way. Who wants to argue with that? Right? There's nobody can argue with that. Every single thing out there is the result of everything that ever happened for 13.8 billion years. If electrons were not charged exactly the way they're charged, nothing would look like this. Nothing would be anything like this. They would not have come together the way there'd be no periodic table. If your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather didn't meet your great-great-great-great, hope I got the generations right, grandmother, right? You don't look the way you do. You're not here. Your hair is not blonde. Nothing. It's all the genetic. You follow me? Every single thing that you are looking at when you look into the outside world is the way it is because of the forces that cause it to be that way, and those forces have absolutely nothing to do with you. Nothing, zero. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set ye free. Who's going to deny that things are the way they are because of the forces that cause them to be that way? There are trillions of influences through time and space cause things to be the way they are. None of those have anything to do with you. I mean, basically, your influence rounds to zero. It's only around for a few years, and this has been going on for a long time. Fair enough? All right. So I'm not taking anything away from you. We can put it back together if you want later, but let's at least say the truth. What is out there has nothing to do with you. You did not make it. It's not personal. It's not personal at all. All right, everyone laughed when I said the other day, your nose is shaped. You may not like it. You want a nose job. That's fine. I'm not judging. Maybe you have. I don't care. Do whatever you want. But you understand, it's not your nose. It's the result of genetics. It's the result of mommy and daddy. And that's the result of grandma and grandpa and grandma and grandpa. And that's the result, et cetera, going back, which, by the way, is all passed through the DNA. And where did it come from? You didn't make it. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the scientific, realistic forces that cause things to be the way they are, and that's how they are. There they are. I'm not saying they're good, not saying they're bad, not saying they're right, not saying they're... See, that's what, when you go to Zen, that it's transcendent, it's beyond right and wrong. Doesn't mean there's no right and wrong. You should go out and do terrible things. It means the world is the way it is because of all the influences that made it to be that way. Therefore, it's perfect for those influences. Every single thing is perfect. It is the perfect result of every single thing that ever happened. The orbit of this planet is exactly as it should be, given the mass and the gravitational pull of the sun and the distance and the other planets and every other influence that causes it to be that way. Even the comets affect slightly our orbits and so on. It's just absolutely amazing. It's amazing. If you stop and use your mind for something meaningful, which is to understand truth. The truth is you are in here, aren't you? Hi. You're in here looking out. No one's going to deny that. I'm telling you what you're looking at has something to do with you. It has to do with all the forces of creation that cause it to be that way. And everything you look at is the perfect result of everything that ever was. If you change the position of the moon, everything changes. You understand that? Everything all around readjusts to the gravitational forces and pulls, and who knows how DNA would look. Right? That influenced it too. All right. So that's what's outside. Got it? That's not what's inside. That's not what's inside. Inside has nothing to do with that. You'll see why they tie together, but inside is not made of that. Inside is your domain. Do you understand? You can think anything you want anytime you want. Look at her. Isn't she a beautiful girl? Inside thinks she's a boy. Just say it. Oh, she's a pretty boy. She's pretty, but she looks more like a boy than a girl. You can say anything you want in there, can't you? Your thoughts are yours. Your feelings are yours. There are people, I hear up in the big city in New York, there's these things called these S&M clubs. Hey, I'm off color tonight, all right. She turned white, all right? Where people pay people to hit them, all right? I really, okay? What's that all about? I don't want to know, all right? But all I know is they do that. There's weird things go on. People are weird with their emotions. People do things to create fear that they call exciting on their vacation. They jump out of airplanes with parachutes that say 50-50 on them. Don't buy those. Those are not... And they'll tell you it makes it more exciting. All right? I'm sure it does, all right? Anything for a rush. You can do anything you want with your emotions. People, you know that. People get funny with what they like or what they don't like and so on and so forth. They're your emotions. They're your thoughts. I told you the world is not yours. God, I want to cry if I talk to you. Wake up. The world is not yours. It does not belong to you. It belongs to itself. It belongs to science. It belongs to the quantum field. It belongs to God. Call it whatever you want. It belongs to the forces, the unbelievably large, infinite forces that came together to cause the moment to be the way it is. All right? That is not true of your thoughts and emotions. That is a private stock in there. That's your world. You live in there, don't you? But you don't behave like that. You don't pay attention to this. All right, I'm going to put it to sleep. Right now, count from 1 to 10 inside. Did it do it? Yes or no? Did it count from 1 to 10? Well, good. Congratulations. It's yours. Make it count from 1 to 10 out there. I want the tambourine to play. No, in here you do whatever you want. It's your mind. They're your emotions. And the world is not yours. It is the force. You can go fight with the forces that are. You can go out there and howl at the moon and tell it not to be where it is. You can get mad because it's raining. You do. All right? And now that you see it, I just wanted to start off at the extreme, which is the world out there belongs to itself. It is the result of all the forces that cause it to be the way it is throughout time and space. And the world in here is yours. It is yours. Mine is different. She's my wife. I guarantee you what's going on in here, quite different than what's going on in there. Neither good nor bad, just totally different. They're totally different. Do you understand that? If you think your husband or wife or boyfriend and girlfriend has the inside that looks the same as you, identical twins that went to the same school, grew up with the same family, they're not even inside, it's not even close. Not even close what's going on in there. This is your private world of your thoughts and your emotions. We don't live like that. How do we live? Let's watch. First, Where'd the world come from? Why is it the way it is? Go to school. I'm not going to tell you. Go study cosmology. Go study physics. Study chemistry. They'll tell you how it got the way it is. Go study biology if you want to understand why you look the way you do. Everybody's all busy with genealogy. What's my background, right? All you're doing is studying biology. You're studying DNA. You're studying stuff. It has nothing to do with you. How did your mind get the way it was? This is the part you won't pay attention to. How did your mind get the way it is? Your mind got the way it is. I've discussed this with you before. We'll do it very quickly. It got the way it is because you live in here. And when things come in from outside that have nothing to do with you, they feel different. They have a vibration to them. They're an experience, a sensation. So if somebody comes up and says something nice to you, it feels a certain way. Somebody comes up and yells at you, it feels another way, right? I'm telling you, if someone came up to you in Chinese and said something nice to you, versus somebody came up in Chinese and you don't speak Chinese and yelled at you, it would feel different inside. They carry a vibration. In the Buddhist tradition, we say everything has its nature. A rattlesnake has a different nature than a butterfly. Therefore, when it comes in, it feels different. It feels different even to a child, to a baby. A rattling rattlesnake to a baby feels different than a flippy butterfly, a landing butterfly. It carries a vibration. So when this vibration, so I said the inside and outside are totally separate. I didn't say they don't interact. I didn't say that. I say they're different worlds. What happens when the outside comes in and you experience it, some of the experiences are pleasant and some of the experiences are not pleasant. Have you noticed? There. Okay, good. Congratulations. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the ultimate of yin and yang, is the ultimate of, yes, there are different experiences. There's light and dark. There's tall and short. And they all feel different. Do you understand that? It feels different at night than it does at day, doesn't it? Because when it comes in, it has a vibration to it, and you experience it differently. Fine. If you are a very, very high being, and you are clean, pure, not meaning you eat right, not meaning you never swear. Pure means there's nothing going on in there. It's an empty slate. Except that you're in here conscious. The world comes in, you experience it. It causes you to feel something different, a vibration. You experience that vibration, and you are ready to have the next experience. Because the moment that experience is over, another one's going to come. Didn't we say that? The world just keeps changing. Everywhere you look, there's something going on. You're experiencing something. So this is called be here now. This is called living in the present moment. The present moment is unfolding. You are experiencing it. You learn from it. You grow from it because you had the experience. This is the basics, which no one will teach you. This is the basics of what it means to be alive, to be a human. You will have these experiences. Isn't it true that you are better off having experienced something than not having experienced something? You learn from every experience you have. Don't they say experience is the best teacher? Then I hope you have a lot of experiences so that you become a wholer person, a fuller person. If you grew up in an environment where you never saw a dog, I don't know if I want to be with you the first time we see a dog. You may freak out. You may treat it like a rattlesnake. I don't know. I mean, dogs sometimes come up and bark, don't they? That doesn't mean they're going to bite. Most of them don't bite. You better know most of them don't bite. You better know there's a dog. Then you better know they bark sometimes. Then you better know that they chase your car and bark. Then you better know that they generally don't bite. But you better also know that sometimes they do. Right? How do you know all these things? You're really smart. You're a very together person. You're wise because I had experiences. And every experience you have makes you a greater person. That's something I've mentioned to you before. Can I stop for a moment and see if your head will shake? Every single experience you have makes you wholer, greater, fuller, wiser than before you had the experience. If you take one math class and you take another, you're better at math each time. If you have a relationship and you try and it falls apart, you are better than not having had the relationship because you learned. You're better off at the next one. If you play the piano and you practice scales and you do it once, you'll be better after twice. You'll be better after 3 times. And you'll be better than if you never tried. Experience is in and of itself a great thing. It happens to be the purpose of your existence on earth. You are in here and you're like just, whoa, I'm in here, right? And now these experiences happen. And when they come in, they pour into your soul, into your being, and they make you richer. They make you smarter. They make you wholer. They make you wiser. And that is the truth. So now you're sitting here and you're experiencing these different things, and they're coming in and they're washing over you. You know, in the Hindu tradition, we have a thing called a Shiva Lingam, right, for the god Shiva. And they pour water over it. That's how they worship Shiva. They pour water over it, right? Yeah, I would like you to see the experiences that are coming in as worshiping you. They're pouring into your soul. They're like rivers pouring into the ocean. They feed it. They freshen it. Everything is coming in, and you become wholer and greater with all the experiences. The ultimate wise being has just had all these experiences and lets them come in and pass through and feed their soul, feed their being. Every single one of them, exactly the same. That's a pure being. There's nothing in between the outside world and your consciousness experiencing the experience you're having. Look how many experiences you're not having every moment. Right now, there's 700 billion, zillion, trillion experiences going on everywhere else you're not having. You're only having this one. Well, please at least have it, because you're not going to have the ones you're not having. And you're missing 99.9999999% of everything that's going on, so at least become richer, wiser, wholer, because of the experience you had. There. That's, believe it or not, an enlightened being. It's so simple. That is returning to the garden, where there's nothing wrong. There's just the gift of life being given to you, and you are absorbing it, growing from it, experiencing it. That is not what we do. What do? When it comes in, if it is pleasant and we like it, we use our will. You in there, hello, you, the soul, the consciousness, the self, you in there, hi. You have a power, don't you? Can you push things around in there? Yes or no? Do you have hands in there? Can you push things away? Can you cling to things? You see? That's your will. You have will in there. And what you did is when something came in that was pleasant, you met somebody said something nice to you, you saw something or smelled something that was nice, you wanted it to stay. You didn't want it to go away. You didn't want to be here now. You want to be there then. I'm going to write a new book, Be There Then. All right? I don't have to write that book. You're all very, very good at it. So it comes in, and you have a pleasant experience. And you do what the Buddhists call cling. You use your will, your inner hands. I want you to know your inner hands, feel your inner hands in there, to hold on to the experience. So you met somebody, they said something nice to you, your heart booped open, it was very nice, and then they walked away. Now you're looking for them. Oh my God, if you're looking for them, you're not experiencing what you're experiencing. You're trying to experience what you experienced before. So you just created, in one single step, you created an alternate reality inside your head. You created a thought. It's not a reality. She's not there. She was there, but she's not now. You have a power to create thoughts, don't you? You can hold on to things in there. You held on to that vibration and said, I like it. I want it to happen again. There's thoughts now. All of a sudden, there's a voice in your head. I like it. Where'd she go? There wasn't that before. There was just this experience of reality. When you're having a deep experience, you're not thinking. When you're in the arms of your lover, I hope you're not thinking, oh, this is nice. I hope you better have melted away. That's what it means to melt, is the whole thing is coming in. And Patanjali says when subject and object merge, when the experiencer and the experience become one. That's from the deepest yogic scriptures. When the experience and the experiencer become one. When you are in the arms of your beloved and everything is exactly right, the experiencer and the experience become one. See how not mystical it is? You have experienced that very rarely, but you have experienced that. If you're driving down the street and you turn the corner and there's a sunset, oh my God, it's unbelievable, all purples and all kinds of colors, right? And it takes your breath away. All of a sudden, for that moment, you're gone, aren't you? It blew my mind. What does that mean? Boom! All that talky. You're not sitting there saying, oh, look at the colors. You're speechless. Inside, then the experience and the experiencer, you, merge. There's no mind in between. There's no thoughts in between. There's nothing personal going on. There's just the wholeness of the experience pouring over you. So you've had those things, very rarely. But those Maslow calls peak experiences. Like you live your life to have those experiences. You would do anything to keep them and have them again. Do you understand that? Those are the richest part of your life. What percentage of your life, this is why I do it. You've taken a lot of breaths since you're born, haven't you? What percentage of the breaths that you've taken were during moments like that? Now that's embarrassing. 0.000001. I'm serious. Moments, real moments like that, where you're not there. You just, oh my God. And then you come back, oh, who wants to come back? Nobody. So simple. That is what it means to fully have the experience. Totally, completely. But we don't do that. Why? Because we had an experience, it was very nice, and then we hold on to it and we build in our mind the concept of the experience, put a preference on it, and now when we look at other things, well, that's nice, but it's not as nice as. Where is she? I was looking for her. Have you seen Sally? Okay? It seems so natural to you. It's not natural. It actually ruins everything. It ruins your ability to have the experience you're having now. Therefore, all you want to learn about is that one experience. Who says that every experience can take your breath away? Is that what it means to be enlightened? Is that nirvana? That every single experience that's coming in touches so deeply that it takes your breath away and blows your mind, and you're just like, whoa. Ramakrishna, the great master, used to say when his disciples, he'd be sitting and meditating, and his disciples would come in, and he'd sit there and he said, I want to talk to you. I was trying to talk to you, but my mouth wouldn't work. It was so beautiful in here. I couldn't pull away from it enough to be able to talk to you. Wow. What if every single experience touched you to the depth of your being? You'd be a great being, wouldn't you? That's quite a life. Okay? So if nice things happen, you don't want them to go away. So you use your will to cling to them and hold on to them. Because you did that, you watch this carefully, now before you were experiencing reality outside as it unfolded, that was your experience, now you have the right to experience your thought creation, your alternative reality, in your thought mind, your conceptual reality, and your thoughts can be thinking about something else other than what you're experiencing. All right? And so all of a sudden your consciousness now can be distracted by what you held in your mind versus what's happening in reality. And the nice things are very rare. You don't have those big experiences. But the not nice things, there are a lot of those. Things that you don't like when they happen, aren't there? Sometimes people say to me, why is there so much negativity? Why is there more not nice experiences than there are nice experiences? I can actually answer that. It's actually very, very logical. If something happens and it's not what I want, it's not a nice experience. If I'm looking for Sally and I see Fred, I see Peter, I see Connie, I see 6 billion people, 7 billion people around here. There's only one Sally. So my odds that who I'm looking at is turning me on when I'm looking for Sally is 1 in 7 billion. And I'm telling you, if I'm really went loop-de-loop over Sally, I'm getting disappointed when it's not Sally. Is that you, Sally? Oh, you go through the whole day disappointed because you didn't get what you wanted. No wonder there's more in pain and negativity because you set up the odds at 1 to 7 billion. You'd be better off winning the lottery 10 times. And I'm not talking about just Sally. Is anybody listening to me? This is so important. You went out to dinner at a restaurant. It was, oh my God, it was heavenly. It was so perfect. The perfect person you were with was the perfect company. The conversations were perfect. Nobody was smoking. Nobody was in the restaurant. Nobody was talking too loud. The music was your favorite song. I happened to play your favorite song on the thing, right? The special was exactly what you like to eat. And you told everybody, oh my God, come with me. I want to bring you. This is unbelievable. Are you crazy? The probability that that is going to line up again to your expectation is slim to nil. There's going to be a different chef. It's going to be a different day for a special. They're going to have different music. It's going to be different people. Every single thing moves on, okay? The probability it's going to match what happened to you before, I'm telling you, is less than 1 in 7 billion. It's how about impossible. And you're going to go there, and you're going to be disappointed. And therefore, you're going to have a bad experience. And you're going to be saying things like, no, you're embarrassed. Well, you'll be disappointed and embarrassed because you brought your friends. No, last time who's ever been there? You know you've been there. That's why there are more negative experiences than positive ones. There aren't more negative experiences than positive ones. You're doing it. You're sitting there saying, if I don't get what I want, it's a negative experience. Well, then you got a lot of negative experiences. If I want something and I lose it, Well, life keeps changing, man. Somebody dies, somebody leaves, somebody gets sick. Everything's a negative experience except if it's what you want. Who said that before me? All of life is suffering. The cause of suffering is desire. The cause of suffering is setting up in your mind what you want versus what you don't want. You do that, you're going to suffer because it's not going to match. So if I had an experience before and I held on to it, and now I'm looking to have it again, or if I had an experience that wasn't nice before, fine, it's not nice. Yes, I'm telling you, do not believe the rest of them that say when you get close to God, there's only nice experiences. God is everything. There are things that come in that nature feel good and things that come in that don't feel good. Fine, that's the nature of reality. It's yin and yang. There's everything, alpha to omega, right? It goes across. The question is, are you willing to honor and respect that? Are you willing to have those experiences? If you go in to take a test and you wanted to get an A and you got a B, you got a B plus, all right, you missed one, okay? Is that a good experience or a bad experience? I've taught you before. If you got an A and you got them all right, you learned nothing. If you got one wrong and you studied it and corrected your way of thinking, you should pay double because something great happened. You just got your whole self verstunken. You just got it all mixed up in there, all right? Every single experience is worth having. So basically, if a experience that comes in that's not pleasant, you touch a hot stove, a dog barks at you, a rattlesnake rattles, you honor the experience. Yes, it doesn't feel good, okay, but it passes. And you become a greater being because of it. But no, we're little babies. I don't want to have that experience. I don't want to have seen a rattlesnake. I'm never going to go on a walk again, all right? No, I don't want to die, and I don't want to go in an airplane because they can crash. Just you build up this whole thing that says, I don't want to have had that experience. I don't want to be barked at by a dog. So I have to live in a community that doesn't allow dogs. You start to limit your whole life. So the moment you do this thing called, I had an experience and I liked it, so I kept it inside. Remember I said your inside is different than the outside. Right now it's different. The dog's not there anymore. It is in here. And you've now adjusted your whole life because you couldn't handle the experience that happened to you. And so you held it because you couldn't handle the nice one. You wanted it again. You couldn't handle that it stopped, passed away for now. And you couldn't definitely handle the not nice one. All right, and now you have this thing in your mind that was your mind. It still is. I said your mind and your emotions are whatever you want. This is what you chose to do. You chose to cling to the things you liked and to resist the things you didn't like, and now they stayed inside your mind. So your mind, your personal mind, your psyche, is now a collection. What did Skinner say? B.F. Skinner? Man is the sum of his learned experiences. Not true. You are the consciousness that is aware of a mind that is the sum of its learned experiences. That's what's true. But I'll give it to him. It's good enough, right? What is going on in there is the sum of your learned experiences. Who wants to deny that? You know, anything going on in there is not the sum of your learned experiences. All your likes, your dislikes, your hopes, your dreams, your values, your beliefs, every single thing is the sum of your learned experiences. No, I decided what I believe. You did not. Your mother decided, your father decided, your preacher decided, your first boyfriend decided. Every single experience that ever happened to you left impressions in your mind, and now that's what you think. You're not doing it. You didn't purposely decide something. So you're in there, but you collected inside your mind based upon these past experiences. You did not let them pass through, and so they got stuck inside your mind. It's like a dam. Hoover Dam stopped the Colorado River. Amazing. Mazel tov. Good. All right. Now you have to sit in there and maintain that dam, or what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen. Right? They're going to be flooding and all kinds of stuff going on. But in the end, the river will go right back the way it was. If they stopped maintaining that dam, and I guarantee it costs them millions and millions of dollars a year to maintain that dam, keep that river blocked up there. If they stop maintaining, you come back and who knows how long, 1,000 years, I don't care. That river's flowing just the same as it was before it started. Why? Because that's where the natural forces put it until you interfered. I'm not saying it's wrong to build a dam. Just pay attention that when you do, now you own it. I used to have a motto, you touch it, you own it. You touched it in there. You touched the experience of the dog barking, of this, of that. You resisted or clung. Those are the two things you do in there. You cling or resist. So basically this stuff gets stuck in there, but you did it. It's not natural. There's no super glue in there. It doesn't have to be this way. There's a thing called empty mind. See, Buddhists. There's a thing called pure mind, where you don't have this garbage stuck in there. That garbage is stuck in there because you did it. Nobody else did it. There's nobody else in there. Come on, raise your hand if somebody else is in there. That is a single occupancy apartment, isn't it? Your wife's not in there. Your kids ain't in there. You are the only one in there. And there, I'm telling you, I know this at the bottom of my being, there is no super glue or flypaper in there. Nothing gets stuck in there. It just comes in and pours in. Like rivers don't get stuck unless somebody does something to dam them up. They pour into the ocean. The world is coming in. It is pouring in through, past your mind, through your mind, so you can experience it, and pouring into the soul, feeding your being. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's ecstasy. It's just being washed and worshipped by experience after experience throughout your entire life. What a gift. How can you not say thank you? That's the ultimate gratitude, right? You're becoming wholer and richer and greater, and it's free of charge. Here it comes, all right? So basically what you did is you resisted or clung. You touched it, you put your hands on it. And now everything you clung to and everything you resisted is still in there. But is in there because your will is doing it. Now that becomes, you mean I touched it and therefore it got stuck in there? No, it's not you touched it, therefore it got stuck in there. You are touching it, therefore it is stuck in there. Keeps coming back up, doesn't it? I had psychologists say that what happened when you were 6, these formative years, still have a big influence. And so all of a sudden you see something that reminds you of something, yes or no? Right? You push it back down, don't you? If you don't like what it feels like, you're doing it constantly. Right? In your dreams it comes up, doesn't it? Freud talks about dreams and so on. Please wake up. It does not stay in there. It is not natural that this be in there. It requires you damming up the flow continuously and constantly. You do it all the time, and you've done it your whole life. So now you have this mass of garbage. Things I like, things I didn't like. That's just jamming up the whole flow of the universe, of your universe. So I admit that when I said to you the outside has nothing to do with you and the inside is free to be whatever you want, you look at me like you're stunned. Was he crazy? Because that's not how we live. What we did is allow the natural flow of the outside that was meant to feed us and teach us. We started cherry picking and value judging it and saying, I like it, I don't like it, and then holding it inside, clinging to what we like and resisting what we don't like, until we end up with this marked garbage. Marked meaning marked like, it's tagged like dislike. What happens if I tag something like? Then when something happens outside that reminds me of it, like when I was 10, I had this relationship with Sally, and then she moved away, right? I'm telling you, when I'm 33 and somebody says, you're CEO of a company, somebody says, all right, the salesperson's here, Sally's here. Do you doubt it? Or somebody says, I'll pick you up in the car. Pick you up a little bit later. You look outside, and the car that pulls up is the one that when you were 17 in high school, you had a boyfriend and he died in a car just that make. That's 40 years ago. When that car pulls up, what happens to you? I'm asking you honestly. Nothing? There's no way, nothing. What is that telling you? It is still in there. It is stuck in there. And when things happen outside, they pull it up. They remind you of it. They hit the stuff you have stored in there. And now it runs your life. In yoga, we call those samskaras. That stuff you stored in there. They run your life. You understand that? You tell that guy, I'm sorry, I'm not going out with you. I can't. I want to, but I can't. And maybe tomorrow. Because he pulled up in that car. People are like that, aren't they? It's like, remember that song, Tiptoe Through the Tulips? That's about what it's like to deal with another human being. I told you we don't talk about that. It's not a subject I'm comfortable with. It's a subject. What's the matter with you? You've seen one, seen them all. It's like the doctor gives you a Rorschach test, right? I don't want to be around when they give Rorschach tests, right? I mean, what if all of a sudden the patient gets up and says, how dare you? He slaps her across the face. Okay, let's note that one down. Let's see, it's an ink blot. No, it's not. To you, it's an ink blot. That's why they give you the Rorschach test. Because you got this garbage stored in there, and they're trying to figure out what it is that's making you so weird. All right? I know what it is that's making you so weird. I just told you. You have stored this stuff in there, and you are keeping it in there, and you are afraid of the ones that weren't good, and you are desirous of the ones that were good. Therefore, you don't run your life. They do. Do you understand that? You are not making decisions. That's the biggest joke that ever lived. You are reacting to what happened and what it hit. You don't know why. Oh, we had such chemistry. There's no chemistry going on. It's just that the way he parted his hair was like your brother's, and you liked your brother, right? Or the way this happened was like that. So, I don't know, I just can't handle her. Well, there's a reason, and it has nothing to do with her. It has to do with you. So you got all this garbage stored in there, your colors that you like, the type of people you like, the cars that you like, every single thing, even the electoral people that you like and dislike, every single, right? Isn't that amazing? Somebody's doing bananas over somebody else thinking, oh my God, right? Just the sum of your learned experiences. You're going to used to say, but by God's grace, there goes myself, when something was out of bounds. If those things had happened to you, that happened to that person, you might have that junk in there too. So basically you understand, you have collected all this garbage and you did it, nobody did it. It is not what happened to you. That's where they get it wrong. It is not what happened to you that made you be the way you are. It is what you did with what happened to you that made you be the way you are. You have free will. You're a tremendously powerful being in there. Nothing is stronger than you. That's one thing I learned for sure. Nothing in there is stronger than you in there. You are the supreme being. You're the end user. It's your mind. You make your car behave the way you want. It doesn't go wherever it wants, does it? Right? You drive in there. That is your mind. They're your emotions. There's nobody else in there. If they're weird, you made them that way. If they're hard to live with, you did it. If it's noisy in there, you did it. Period. You have to own that. You're the only one in there, and this is your kingdom. So you start by understanding how it happened. It happened very innocently. It happened almost instinctually. Somebody takes a swing at you, you protect yourself. Somebody comes in, it's not comfortable, you protect yourself. In there. Trouble is, out here, somebody takes a swing, you protect yourself, it's over. In here, you protect yourself, it's never over. Because you stored it inside. And now you're afraid or desirous for the rest of your life. Okay. So now you understand why it doesn't seem like the outside and the inside are completely independent. They are completely independent. Now let's talk about fixing it. Can we do that? I don't want to ask you, if somebody were to come, let me tell you what it's like to live in here. No, time for lunch. I know what it's like to live in there. I used to live in mine. It does not have to be like that. But I do understand it's that way. I understand. That's why Buddha said all of life is suffering. Everybody's suffering. They don't need to be suffering, but they are. If you play this game, and you know everyone's playing this game, they don't even know they're playing the game. They're just protecting themselves and defending themselves and trying to be okay, aren't you? Just trying to get by, trying to be okay, trying to not have bad things happen to you and trying to have nice things happen to you. And now you're out here trying to control the world so that you can be comfortable inside. You're out here every single minute of every single day attempting to manipulate and control people, places, things, everything, so that you can feel okay inside. It is not supposed to be like that. It is supposed to be beautiful inside. It's supposed to be rich and whole. You're supposed to have those little intimate moments with every experience you're having. Every experience you're having as your teacher, as your friend, as your lover is a great thing. But it can't now because it hits your old stuff and freaks you out. You get freaked out ever? Scared? Anybody scared when we wake up in the morning? Something bad might happen? You meet people. You're afraid to meet them because you might say something stupid. Anybody have a conversation with a friend or anybody, and when they walk away, the conversation's not over inside their head? Oh, why did I say that? Oh, my God. That sound was so stupid. Isn't that fun? We're neurotic. You will end up neurotic if you let this happen. Because you will have this whole collection of likes and dislikes and fears and anxieties and blah, 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 because you store all the junk in you, and now when the world unfolds, it makes it move in there, doesn't it? I'll tell you one point I had it with him, is you're driving and you stop at a light, and somebody beeps at you because you didn't go right away. I mean, beep. You should see what goes on inside. Right? And then I watched that if the person would pull up to the light, even with me the next time, I would stay behind because I didn't want him to see me, or I didn't want to see him. I don't know, right? It was just weird. Anybody know anything about that? Come on, blush. I want to see you blush. How personal you want to get? I want to know what it's like to live in there because I know what it's like to live in there. Hell. And so you end up spending your life, as I said, the outside world unfolds. That's natural. That's what it does. It unfolds. It's been doing it for 13.8 billion years. And a little piece unfolded in front of you. Can you handle it? No. And so the stuff comes up, and now you're uncomfortable, and you become what we call reactive, right? Now that it's uncomfortable in here, I need to do something to make it comfortable. So I start saying things, doing things, leaving, coming, I don't care, whatever it is, to change the outside so I feel better inside. Now you better be able to relate to that, because I'm telling you, you do it every second of your life. And it's why you're doing what you're doing. Well, that's terrible, all right? You're just being run by your past experiences, which mean nothing. They were supposed to come in and make you great. Because you resisted them, they didn't make you great. They made you less. So now what do? Well, a scientist, an intelligent person, when they understand how something got created, they understand how to uncreate it. You work it backwards. You work it backwards. If the reason that I'm suffering and the reason it's a mess is because I was unable to experience and handle the things that were happening to me in the past, let me start by learning how to do that. That's the greatest spiritual thing I ever say to you. You want to meditate? Meditate. Fine. I don't teach meditation. But you should. I meditate wonderful. You want to do mantra? Well, in the end, I'll show you why some of those things work. But that's not what it's about. What it's about is saying, boy, have I made a mess in here. I made a mess. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life paying for that mess and having to watch what I say and watch what I wear and be scared and all this garbage. You understand that? Build some alternate reality inside my head and say, well, if it was this way, I'd be okay. You want to bet? Go on, build it in there. Ever done it? Said what it is I need, and if I get it, I'll be okay. No, you won't, will you? No one's ever been okay that way. Why? Because you're just putting something on top of the garbage. You still have the garbage. But I met somebody, and I used to be so insecure, and now I feel real secure. Wait till he leaves. Wait till he dies. Wait till he talks too close to somebody else. Tell me how you're feeling. It's not going to go away because you laid something on top of it. You're not going to take something. I don't care how much. If you're very insecure and so you earn a whole lot of money and you insure everything you have, by definition, you're still very insecure. Because if the market moves 1 point, you're in trouble. Watch them. All right? You can't have a problem. You're inside. You layered this garbage on top of you by holding on to it. And now you think you're going to get something from outside that you put on top of it and it's going to go away. No, it will not go away. You will just struggle to keep the thing controlled that you're using to hide from what you have inside. So another way of doing this, which happens to work, is to sit here and say, I made a mess in here. This is my world. It's my kingdom. And it's not nice in here. It's scary from the time I wake up in the morning and I meet people and everything. It's not fun to be in here. All right? And I want to make it nice. Okay. Then learn how to do that which you didn't know how to do before. What? Handle the experience that's in front of you. Well, I'm not good at that. Learn. But I've never been good at that. Learn. Just like you learn to play the piano. Just like you learn to ride a horse. Just like you learn to do anything. You learn calculus. So that you guys are geniuses. Learn this. Learn how to allow the experience that is unfolding in life in front of you, such as beep. Start with the beep. Start with really simple stuff, okay? You know, bird pooped on your new car, or somebody parked too close and it's hard to get in, or somebody beep. Like there's every moment of every day there's something going on that bothers you. Instead, commit yourself to learning to let things go. Start with the small stuff. But how do I let it go? By letting it go. The highest technique I can give you is you relax. When somebody goes beep, it starts to get tight in there, doesn't it? Because all this stuff gets hit. And so it starts to come up and it causes this negative reaction, all right? What you do is you try to control the reaction. No. What you need to do is relax. Don't control the reaction. Controlling the reaction means push it back down. Controlling the reaction means put something on top of it so it feels better. Controlling the reaction means distract yourself. Fine. The highest thing to do is to say there's something down there. It got hit. Now it's trying to come up. I don't want it down there. If it wants to come up, I want to be able to handle it. If I could have handled it to start with, what mommy did or daddy did or whatever happened, I wouldn't have that in me. It would have been over 30 years ago. So, Sally, the word Sally gets said, it starts to do something. What do? Relax. What do you mean relax? You in there, keep your hands to yourself and do this work. Relax. Well, what's going to happen? Your heart's going to hurt. Well, I don't want my heart to hurt. Well, Sally was 30 years ago. You really want 30 years ago to be determining what your heart feels? Then how can your current husband be what your heart feels? Or how can your work be what your heart feels? It's too busy with stupid 30-year-old garbage that stinks. Even the positive ones, they stink. They're keeping you from experiencing reality, from fully feeling what's taking place. And so somebody says Sally, or somebody, if your ex-husband with bad thing was Ben, somebody says Ben, your heart's going to shift. Good. You want to know why? Because you stored that stuff inside your heart. That's when you pushed it, that's where it went. And so what you do is you relax. It's the highest technique I'd ever teach you. Just keep your hands to yourself, breathe, relax, do whatever you need to do to not touch it. And it will go. Not in one try, but a piece of it will go. If it comes up, it's passing through. Can it make it past your consciousness? Can you let it go? Can you handle the disturbance that you couldn't handle before? The day you can handle it is the day it can't bother you. And you start relaxing and releasing. Start with the tiny things. Don't start with the big things. Start with the beep. Start with the rain. It's raining when you don't want it to. Just all this stupid stuff that you're making a melodrama out of. Just relax. Somebody didn't send you a birthday card on your birthday. Did they not like me? Just let it go. Practice letting go of the stuff that's causing you all this trouble in there. And what will happen is you will get good at it. You'll get good at all kinds of things, right? You'll get good at this. When you're good at letting go, come visit me. Because it's going to be hard to look at you. There'll be so much light pouring off your being. Why? If you can let go of this garbage as it comes up, you don't have to go find it. It'll come up, don't worry. And then if you get good at the little things, then a bigger one will come up. Let go of that. Just use the same technique constantly. That's what I found. You only need one technique, letting go. And it'll take time, because there's some big stuff in there. Hear me? But over time, even the subconscious stuff, even the past life stuff, anything you want to get into, it's coming back up. It'll pass through. But eventually, it becomes like white lines. Once you become used to being able to experience different things and then seeing the beauty of what life is like without that garbage in there, you become inspired to let go. You become a letting go machine. Everybody else is out there trying to control and manipulate the world around them. You're not. You're letting go of yourself. You're using the world to let go of yourself. Come and get it. That's ultimately how you are. You look at your heart when it hurts, and your attitude is, oh, come on, you can do better than that. Hit me with your best shot. It just becomes a game. It's a game. It has nothing to do with me. It's something I'm experiencing. And when I was young, meaning spiritually unevolved, I used to hide from this stuff and shove it down here, and it ruined my life. No more. Ever. Never. I will go through a divorce that's extremely dirty and painful and use it to go to God. I will go through cancer, a terrible illness, with all the things that take place. I'll go through anything that life throws at me, everything, anything. And I will let go of what it hits inside of me. And I will honor and respect the experience. I'll worship it. Ramdas used to say, use it to go to God. And that is what you will realize. If it is in there, then you're going to pay attention to it. And you got to maintain it. If it's not in there, all of a sudden, all this energy is liberated and free. And it starts to flow up inside it. It's way beyond being okay. When you don't have to maintain all that garbage in there, and it's not all blocked in there, this Shakti, this Chi, this spirit, call it whatever you want, starts to flow. You start getting these tremendous rushes of beauty and love until that's all there is a constant flow of upward joy and ecstasy and enthusiasm. You're excited about every moment of your life. That's what the Bible means, lest ye be as little children. As Yogananda meant when he said, there's a river of joy that flows inside of you. Find it. Go there. Get in and drown. The trouble is you all have this energy, but you're using it to maintain the garbage. You're either suppressing it inside and controlling it and freaking out, or trying to control and manipulate the outside so it doesn't hit your stuff. Well, you're a busy dude, or dudess. You're very busy in there. A wise being is not busy at all. You're just in there, calm, serene, filled with Shakti, filled with constant waves of, there was some master, I thought it was Yogananda, but I couldn't find it in his writings, but I read it somewhere a long time ago, where it said, "Oh, what hast thou done to me? Wave upon wave of ecstasy saturates me day and night. Throng upon throng inundates me." That is how you're supposed to be living. That's the return to the garden. And you'll realize when you start having an energy flow, anything you touch stops it. It interferes with the flow. You feel it like hit the flow. And therefore you just keep your hands to yourself. All right? Now what happens? The world unfolds. It still does it. Had nothing to do. I told you, it had nothing to do with you anyways. It doesn't stop unfolding. I love that people think that because I let go, the world became beautiful. No, the world is beautiful. Because you didn't let go, it looked ugly. Now, look, Mother Teresa, obviously a very, very highly evolved soul, God knows if she had anything left in her, very high being. She loved working with the lepers. She couldn't wait to go there. It was the joy of her life. It's not like all of a sudden they all got healed because she let go. Life is beautiful. The fact that it exists is unbelievable. The fact that it once was all hydrogen gases after the Big Bang and made this by itself. All made out of the same atoms, right? It's unbelievable. That's what you start seeing. Awe, respect, and you start feeling all this joy. All right, now what? The world unfolds. It's not freaking you out anymore. There's nothing you like or dislike. Buddhists, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. It's not, they say, but how do I have no preferences? What do you mean, how do I suppress my preferences? No. If you will let go of your garbage, there will not be any preferences left in there. What there will be is clarity and experiencing equally all of life. And now what happens is, as life unfolds in front of you, you're not having these reactions. It's not making you get weird. It's not doing anything weird to you. So you stay present, and all of a sudden you realize that it's talking to you. That every moment that's unfolding in front of you is asking something of you. That's why it's there. And that's why you're there. It may be the tiniest thing in the whole world, but you will raise every moment that passes by you will be better off because it did. That's the saint. Every moment, St. Francis, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. Where there is sickness, let me bring health. It's just anything that passes by you is raised. Why? Because you don't need anything from it. You're not trying to take from it. You're a taker, aren't you? Come on, we don't like to think of ourselves that way. But man, that moment in front of you, you're trying to get something from it because you need something. When you let go and you're clean inside, you do nothing but give. You're just a natural giver. That's all. You don't even think you're giving. It's just because you don't need when the moment is unfolding, right? Which one of you wouldn't help a child if it was crying? That's how life is. And now the harmony takes place between you and life. And that's where the oneness takes place. There's no difference between you and what's happening to you. You're living in that state that you now only get in an intimate moment of oneness. Right? That's what the great master is. That's why we pay such respect for the great masters. There are beings who live in those states. Do you understand that? Christ completely, totally in that state. And Buddha, same thing. These great beings are in the state we just talked about. And you are capable of that. You are absolutely capable of that. You do not have to run around this life begging and suffering and begging and trying to be okay. You can be okay inside. Now, I've showed you that the inside is independent of the outside. The outside will unfold, your inside unfolds. I don't care about your outside. I would rather have you or me live in a poor hut off somewheres and be in ecstasy than live in a mansion and be neurotic. So understand, your takeaway from this is, your inner state belongs to you. There are influences that come in, but what you do with them is what matters. Otherwise, they just pass. If mommy did something when you were young, 30 years ago, she's not still doing it, then why is it still bothering you? So yes, she's guilty for what she did or what daddy did, whatever it is, right, at that time, right? You're guilty for the next 30 years of letting it bother you when it wasn't happening. I'm begging you to pay attention. You can have a beautiful life, but not the way you're doing it. You can't store that stuff in there and then try to bring the new life in that helps you feel better about it. It ain't going to happen. What you need to do is let this stuff go. It's called purification. That's purification. And what will follow that is this flow of Shakti, this flow of energy, waving, wafting. All your chakras will open, the higher centers. You'll live, your consciousness will never drop below the Ajna, 6th, and 7th chakra. The energy will be so strong, flowing up there ecstatically, that your consciousness, like the great masters, somebody once asked Yogananda, in that lineage, those pictures there above Yogananda, that's the lineage of gurus. Why do they not sleep enough? Is that why their eyes are always half open? And you're going to find out, no, it is because the ecstasy that's flowing inside of you is so strong that you can't bring your whole attention outside. Because the joy that's happening inside is so beautiful. So that's what you'll live in that state. Everything comes from up here. And it pulls you up, and then the higher states happen. All right. So there. Now you have a memorandum of understanding. All right? Do you understand? That's what's going on in there. And do you see what to do about it? Of course meditation helps, because meditation is practicing letting go. When you sit down and meditate, you're not supposed to be listening to your thoughts. That's what you practice. And they tell you to watch your breath instead. There's nothing holy about watching your breath. It's just you're watching your breath instead of watching your thoughts. Perfectly reasonable. And maybe watch your breath and count. Now you're watching your breath instead of watching your thoughts, but there's still thoughts. Now instead have the thought of counting. I made you count earlier. You count it. It'll do it. That's the highest meditation you can do. Just sit there, watch your breath go in and out, and count to 20, and then start over again. And do that at least 15 minutes twice a day, and it will change your life. Why would that change my life? Because you learn to not listen to those stupid thoughts that are just the result of all this garbage you stored inside. And now you can start doing it during the day. You can start letting go. A train comes when you're in a rush. Instead of listening to your stupid mind, well, what did I do wrong? Why is God not like me? Oh, man, this is ridiculous. How am I on that train anyways? Oh, my God, I make the train. So plus, it's polluting everything. And what's it carrying? It's got coal. Oh, my God. Instead of listening to that garbage, you're counting and you're watching your breath. And all of a sudden, it's a very pleasant experience. You're glad the train went by. It gave you a chance to quiet down. Your whole life will change. All right. Work on these things, please. And make the world a better place. Jai Gurudev.